Looking good, looking fab. She looking fab, Keith.
My hair all right.
She looks fab. She looks fab.
Where were you born, Mary?
I was born in number 4 Jail Street at Nurse O'Neill's. She was the midwife for the town at that time. Now I'm probably a bit older than the others.
Oh, you don't look it.
They wouldn't remember. And my childhood was entirely different to theirs.
And why is that?
Because we were I had no father, we were classed as orphans then.
Why
You'd be classed as orphans when you had no father.
Oh, because your father died
or
when you were
mother.
3.
Yes. And my childhood was trying to make money.
Yeah. Picking blackberries too?
Yeah, and it was wartime.
Right.
And all the children had to go out to the woods and collect the firewood because there were shortages of coal and firewood and everything. And most of the children in the street had carts made that people would make for them with wheels. And we had to go out over the bridge, anywhere that there was woods,
And how old would you have been
collect
there?
the firewood.
You'd have been very young though.
I'd been very young at the time, yeah.
10?
Younger,
Oh.
6, 7 maybe.
Off out to the woods to collect.
Yeah. And we'd be out all day and we'd bring our lunch with us. And we'd gather it all, then we'd fill the carts. At the end of the evening, hail, rain, snow, frost, everything. We'd wheel them all home in the evenings.
Would your brother or friends be with you?
All children from around the same area would be going.
Yeah. And the jail wall disaster, was that?
That was before the jail wall disaster, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The jail wall disaster was more or less nearly the end of the war.
Right. Yeah, I think you remember that.
Yeah, and then I would do messages for people in the street on their own, and then you would get. I was always trying to make money.
Yeah?
Yeah. And get things, that kind of childhood.
Yeah, wow.
And our childhood was completely in Barrack Street. And children from the shops downtown came to play in Barrack Street because they couldn't play downtown.
Oh, yeah.
We had butcher shops in Georgia Street, Phelan's, Quinlan's. We had parish further over on O'Connell Street, had a bed and breakfast. They all came to Barrack Street to play.
So you always had plenty of...
Yeah, so we used to think we were special because we had all these shop children
Oh, yeah.
come to play with us.
Were there any particular games? Did you have any favourite games?
Well, they would play the children's games.
The usual
Skipping and running, and we'd run all around, racing and all that kind of thing, and swinging on poles, all that sort of thing.
Sounds like a bit of fun as well as all the hard work. And what about you, Pat?
Well, what do you want to know?
Memories of your childhood? When you grew up in Sleevrew, I know, but you used to have lots to do in the river.
It was the parish of Sleevrew,
Right.
but it was Ferrybank.
Oh, yes, sorry.
And there was a lot of poverty there in those times.
Yeah.
But generally, everybody was the same. They weren't well off. And of course, it was during the war years when you had, what do you call it, you had rationing and that sort of thing. But one thing I remember was in the summer we used to swim in the river at the boat club there, which was the old ferry slip.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah, which was opposite the mall, you could say. And I learned to swim there at the age of 10, and at the age of 11 I swam across the river and back.
Wow, and did your parents realise that you were doing that?
No, they didn't know I could swim.
Wow.
Because around, I don't know, it was a while after that, my mother came for a walk with the neighbour down the promenade. The promenade was made to create employment, I think, at the time, you know. And the neighbour said to me, "Mother, is that your patch outside there was on a buy outside 100 yards off shore. And we were lifting the big ring up and even a drop,
Wow.
which gave a booming sound.
Yeah.
But we had to keep our eye on the harbour office in case the harbour master came out.
Yeah. What an adventure.
Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting. As you got older, did you have any of these infamous stories of the Olympia, or did you guys?
I didn't have the
ballrooms or dancing.
I didn't have any ballroom or dancing.
Oh, Mary.
I didn't really, because I went away too young.
Oh, but the cinema.
The cinema was the Regal in the Glen and the Coliseum we used to go to.
And what church
And
did
the
you go to?
Spy, the cathedral.
You got to-
We were the cathedral parish.
Yeah.
And my mother was married twice in the cathedral, down the same aisle twice.
Yeah, because you lost your father at 3.
And we
like you
were
said.
all baptized in the cathedral, and communions and confirmations, everything in the cathedral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you remember the Children of Mary processions?
Yes.
And were there lily of Bally sold there beside the cathedral in the Brazils shop? I heard that from somebody once.
Yes.
And you'd all hold the
Yes,
lily of
yes,
Bally.
yes. There was always processions in the cathedral.
Yeah.
And
But you went to England, didn't you? So you met your husband.
so I went to England when I was 16.
Right.
And when we were children, the boat that went to England was the Great Western. Used to come in on the Coliseum, where those apartments are out on the river now. And
In Delphi.
that was the wharf thing where the Great Western.
Yeah.
And everyone in town went down to see them off.
Yeah. Waiting.
And they'd have accordions and old boxes, and all the women would be dancing around there. There'd be hundreds of people there.
Wow.
And it would come in at 7:30 in the morning, and everyone would be down to meet them,
Yeah.
whether they were relatives or not. It was just a thing to welcome them all home.
Yeah, lovely. What an event.
And then when the ship would be passing the island, Waterford Castle,
Oh, yeah.
the Fitzgeralds used to live there then as a family. And they used to come out and play the trumpet
Oh.
for the ship going down the river.
Oh, wow, what a lovely memory that is.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And you had to wait until all the cattle went on, and all the dogs went on, and all the people went on then. There was hardly any room.
No.
And 8 hours, 8 to 9 hours water to Fishguard.
Gosh, would you get a seat?
Sometimes be all on the floor.
Oh my goodness. I
Yeah,
didn't realise
sitting
that.
on the floor.
And then, do you remember things like that, Pat?
I remember the Great Western now. I only went across it once, but I had 5 sisters and a brother who were emigrated. Brother came back later. But when the boat takes off, it was going rocking from side to side with the cattle moving down below.
Smelling.
And of course, you'd have the smell there too, you know.
And dogs
And
barking.
you'd have people seeing them off there and they're crying and whatnot.
Everyone was crying and waving handkerchiefs and
Very
waving
emotional.
all kinds of things.
Gosh, that's very emotional.
That was followed by the Princess Maud for a while before that ended, you know.
All right.
And then there was a ship further up,
The
the
Rockabill.
Rockabill, used to go to Liverpool.
The Rockabill.
The Rockabill.
Rockabill, yeah.
And everyone used to go to see everybody off on the Rockabill as well,
Oh.
to Liverpool.
Yeah, it's sad, really.
Yeah.
You might not see those people again sometimes.
No,
Once-
that's true.
once people went.
Yeah.
And you went off to England then for years, Mary, didn't you?
I went off for years and years and
Yeah,
years.
and had your daughter there.
Yeah.
And got married there.
And best thing ever happened to me, I have to say.
Yeah. But you came back to Waterford.
I did, but
Yeah. And would you have memories of Annie Brophy in Barrack Street?
oh, Annie Brophy was a fabulous person.
Everybody, I think, I
Yeah.
know, including myself, have photographs of
Yeah,
Annie Brophy's. beautiful photographs. don't they,
Yeah,
of
my
the-
sister and I went away, and when we came home for our first holiday, Annie made a great fuss of us. And she said, before you go back now, you come up and I'll take your photographs. And I still have the photographs. She took us both together and 2 single ones, one each.
Lovely. And you
Yeah.
still have them.
Still have them, yeah.
Do you remember that too, Pat? I suppose you must have them.
Well, my mother and father's wedding photograph was taken by Annie Brophy. And later, she took a photograph of me at the age of 2. Now, I don't know where my mother got the money to be
I know.
spent
She was
wasting
quite
it on that.
expensive.
Yeah.
But 10 years later, a woman's magazine came out, the Irish Household or something like, I forget the name of it. But she sent the picture off and she won £2 for
Wow. Go
it.
away.
I was a bonny baby.
Because you were such a bonny baby.
Still bonny.
Pity
He's still
I had
bonny.
to grow up.
That was a lot of money then.
Yeah,
It,
too.
it
Yeah,
was.
a lot of
So
money.
you were earning when you were very young.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometime afterwards my mother bought a picture, an oil painting at an auction for £2. It was a picture of Tramore in 1906 or something like that,
Beautiful.
just for £2.
Wow. And it was,
Sentimental, she was Tramore, you see,
Yeah.
born in Tramore.
I know, Tramore House.
And
Beautiful hotel it was.
my grandfather, great-grandfather and great-great-father were Tramore,
Yeah, yeah.
which is going back a bit.
But you had great connections in Waterford because you worked for the council for years, didn't you?
Half my working life was for the corporation,
Yeah, yeah.
and I escaped then to the VEC
All right.
across the road
Promotion.
in what was the one-day text. You know, you had 2 one-day texts, one for the girls and one for the boys.
Oh,
You had to keep going to school until you were 14.
yeah.
Now, young fellas and maybe girls who had apprenticeships and whatnot, but they had to go 1 day a week because, well, it was the law, and the corporation had a school attendance officer.
It was good though, wasn't it, to have a bit of education?
Well, there's no way they needed to get basic education anyhow. It possibly did them no harm anyhow.
No.
But in the early 50s, most of them were punching in time until they could go to England.
Yeah.
You know, you had the Marshall Plan at that stage and whatnot, and they were recovering after the war, and the building was booming.
Yeah, so that was the place to go really. I know.
Yeah.
I know. But then you worked with Ted O'Regan because you told me good stories about Ted.
Oh, well, we just happened to come together there at one stage in the corporation
Yeah.
when Ted found himself back where he started in the corporation. Both of us were doing the wages and some accounts as well at the time.
But didn't you have an art exhibition in there one day?
What?
I thought you had an art exhibition in there one day, you said, for the craft.
Well, that was it, you see, and I should have the book at home. We had a visitor's book, and it was an old redundant tradesman book. The tradesman used to fill it in every week, and that was the visitor's book. And all the different departments of the corporation came there. Now, at that time, you had a health department, was part of the corporation. It later became the Waterford Health Authority, and then the Health Board, the Southeastern Health Board, like, you know.
Right.
But that was part of the corporation, you know. They had a vet employee there, and Dr. Maughan was the doctor.
You were down there at Pine Street.
But they all came and signed the visitor's book and gave their impressions.
of this art that you
Yeah.
intend to put up.
It was 3 pieces of washed timber. There was small bits of timber that was washed up by the tide. Tommy Ryan, who died there a couple of months ago,
Oh, yeah.
he was like the personnel officer in the corporation, unofficial, like, you know. But he sent him over to Ted, and I suggested to make a mobile out of it.
Very modern.
The mobile then was, you know, those wire hangers that was unravelled, like, and we had these pieces of timber hanging down.
Yeah.
And Ted decided to call it Iliad. And it was hung out of the ceiling in the office there of 36th Mall. And an invitation was set out to the different departments to come and view it.
So that was a bit of light relief in the.
Oh yeah, it was hanging there for about 6 months.
Yeah.
Eventually, the city manager came, Michael Doody. He was curious.
Oh yeah. So
He looked up and said, and that was his view of it.
impression. Anyway, Mary, we'll get back to you before we finish up. Any other little memories? Because I know you were gone a long time, but then you were back.
Well, when I left school, then 14, I left school, that was it. And I got a job down in Gladstone Street. There was a little post office down there where Nursing Needs is now.
Oh yeah.
And they used to have tobacconists and sweets and magazines. So I got a job down there from 12 o'clock until 5 o'clock. And there was a Miss Murphy used to run it, and a Miss Mead, 2 spinsters.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone remember them.
Miss Murphy and Miss Mead. And were they nice to you?
They were lovely. And when I came home, I used to go back to see them.
Oh.
But they both died then, and the post office went.
Yeah, because I don't remember that post office.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I stayed there then until I was 16, and I went to England.
That was
16.
common to do. I know Common Street must have been a real bustling place back then.
Oh, it was, yeah. We had O'Gorman's butchers there. Everyone used to make real beef sausages. They'd be all red hanging in the windows.
Oh, look.
Piles of them.
Yeah.
On the left there, I think that where that St. Bridget's place is now, along there.
Wow.
And we always went to O'Gorman's
Yeah.
for meat and things.
Yeah.
And opposite them there was Richard A.D. was his name. And he had a groceries opposite. And we'd go down there and during the war you might have butter that would be gone a bit tasty and he'd be sending it off cheap.
Bit tasty.
Yeah, it would be gone off. He had it too long.
Oh, right.
And there'd be a bit of a rancy taste
There
of
wasn't
it.
so much health and safety back then, though, was there?
And he'd sell that off cheap.
Yeah.
We'd go down and ask him, had he any of this butter, particular butter?
Oh, right.
Yeah, and
What else did I want to say?
and they used to be in the home in Colonial nearly opposite Barrack Street.
What was there, Mary?
The home and Colonial stores.
Oh,
It was there where Dillon's Jewellers
Yeah.
is now there.
the home and
The Colonial.
colonial stores.
Yeah, and they sell it. And across the road then we used to have another big store, just very well-known stores. And there was lots of stores and on the corner.
I remember the
we-
Roman colonial.
Sure, yeah, and on the corner of Patrick Street, we used to have a shop called Vales, and all the habits used to be out the window for the dying people. Black ones and brown ones and all, and they were horrible.
Vales. What shop? was
Vales, 2 sisters they were. They were on the corner of Patrick Street, very end of Patrick Street on the left
it?
there.
And you bought them?
That's where people used, when people would die, they'd go to Vales to get the habits to put the people in.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's a completely
Yeah.
different city now, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you think.
Yeah, oh, there was lots of older shops there like
And do you
that.
find that it's really changed, or are there any stores
then-
that are still there that you remember?
I don't think there's any stores there that were there then.
No.
No. There was, where Dunn's is on the corner there, that used to be Bullinger's. That was a little department stores.
Yeah.
And Shaw's was Robinson Nedley's then. And they used to,
The name is still there.
made to measure. They've just taken it off the end.
Yeah.
They used made to measure there. It was all made to measure suits for men and things.
Yeah.
And my grandfather was the master tailor in there. My great-grandfather.
Oh,
My
lovely.
great-grandfather,
And
yeah.
didn't the women live upstairs if they worked in Shaw's?
Yes,
They had
yeah.
dormers or
Yeah.
something upstairs and they
Upstairs,
actually
yeah,
slept there.
yeah.
Lived there, really.
And they'd have floor walkers and people making sure everything was going properly and
Yeah,
all that kind of
amazing.
thing.
Amazing. Well, lads, our time is up. So
Well, were we satisfactory, do you
I
think?
think you were wonderful. I think you were wonderful too, Pat.
There's one thing I have to tell you.
Good, just tell us then.
Who is it? Teddy's son,
John.
John, was that side, but he was training to be an artist.
Oh, yeah, still is.
And I still have the cartoon he did of me.
I go away.
I meant to show it to him, but I didn't meet him when he had an exhibition
He'll be back. I see him
in
sometimes.
town there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I missed him
Yeah.
there.
I know he'll be back. He's still painting away. He's a fantastic artist.
Yeah.
But listen, I'll say it to him. But thanks so much.
I must say one thing now.
One more thing.
There was a woman used to sing around the town, and she'd have a big shawl over, and she was corpus, and she was Hannah Mooney.
Hannah Mooney.
Oh,
Does anyone remember Hannah Mooney? Remember her singing?
She
Just
lived,
burst into song.
Yeah, and
she lived in
Do you remember?
She lived in number 1 the Mile.
That's right.
1 the Mile was the motor tax office, the ground floor.
But it was a kind of
And there
a
were three
hostely place,
tenements.
And she'd get money that way.
There was such tenements in Waterford then.
And her son was lived in the hostel for years,
Yeah.
Paddy Mooney. But a nice, decent fella, and he wasn't
She'd sing
addicted
all
to
over
the
the
drink.
town.
No.
He used to wear a pioneer pin there,
Go away.
even though he did have an odd friend.
An odd one.
Yeah.
An odd view. Well, there's some characters. That's some great stuff.
And another woman used to come down, and what her name is, and she'd come around and she'd have a big basket to cut, and she'd have the strap across her head
Oh, and the basket on the
and
back.
back, and she'd be shouting, "Do you want the cockies?"
Do you want the
Cockies, she'd be shouting.
Oh.
And she'd leave it down then, and people would buy stuff from her.
Lovely.
And God, there's lots of stories,
Yeah,
aren't
I
there?
say we could keep going for days.
Keep going forever. You need to go back further,
I
really.
know. But thanks so much. Nat.
I hope
Great.
we've done
Yeah.
where we any. You won't be putting us on television, I hope.